Most people think of dogs as animals that belong on the ground, but Uka has never been an ordinary dog when it comes to adventure. He loves the mountains, the open air, and the feeling of being free. So when he started showing an unusual interest in my paragliding flights, I began wondering if there was another adventure waiting for us. Whenever I prepared my glider, Uka would stay nearby and watch. He seemed fascinated by the way the fabric moved with the wind. Sometimes he followed me around while I checked the equipment, and other times he simply sat and stared at the sky. At first, I thought it was just curiosity, but the more often it happened, the more I started thinking that maybe Uka wanted to be part of the experience. Of course, I wasn't going to take him into the air without careful preparation. I needed to know that he was comfortable and that everything could be done safely. So we started on the ground. Uka spent time around the glider and slowly became familiar with it. I introduced him to a secure harness and let him wear it during our walks. We took our time, and eventually he stopped paying attention to the equipment altogether. What surprised me was how excited he became whenever he saw the glider. He would come running over, wagging his tail, almost as if he already knew we were preparing for another adventure. After months of preparation, the right opportunity finally came. We traveled to the Alps on a beautiful day with clear skies and calm wind. Uka seemed excited throughout the climb, running along the trail and exploring everything around him. When we reached the launch point, I carefully secured him and checked everything several times. Uka remained completely calm. Then the wind caught the glider. We started running, and suddenly we were no longer on the mountain. We were flying. I looked at Uka immediately, expecting him to react to the strange feeling of leaving the ground, but instead he simply looked ahead. The mountains were spread beneath us, the clouds moved slowly around the peaks, and Uka watched everything with quiet curiosity. He wasn't afraid, he wasn't restless, he was simply enjoying the moment. Watching him made me realize that I had been thinking about the flight the wrong way. I was worried about whether Uka would be comfortable, but he wasn't thinking about any of those things. He trusted me. He didn't need to understand how we were staying in the air. He didn't need to know where we were going. He only needed to know that he was safe with someone he trusted. That kind of trust is something you don't forget. It reminded me that our relationship with animals is built through small things. Every walk, every meal, every moment of affection, and every time we make them feel safe becomes part of that trust. And somehow, all those ordinary moments had brought us to this extraordinary one. As we continued through the sky, I stopped worrying about everything else. I simply watched Uka and enjoyed having him beside me. Eventually, we began our descent. When we landed safely, Uka immediately returned to exploring the mountain. He sniffed the grass, walked around, and wagged his tail as if we had only been gone for a few minutes. I started laughing. For me, it had been an incredible experience. For Uka, it was just another day. But perhaps that's the reason I love him so much. He doesn't overthink life. He simply enjoys it. A mountain is something to explore, the wind is something to feel, and a new experience is something to discover. Uka has taught me that happiness doesn't always come from doing something huge. Sometimes it comes from sharing a simple moment with someone you love. That flight will always stay with me, not because we were high above the mountains, but because Uka was there beside me. He trusted me enough to leave the ground, and in return, he gave me a memory I will never forget. If Uka's story touched your heart, don't forget to like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel for more touching and inspiring animal stories.